Welcome. We are your hosts, Chris and Tammy.
In this podcast, we dive into the mindset for networking strategies and skills you'll need to build a solid foundation to build a global business.
We've built a multi-million-dollar business and have mentored thousands of people around the globe in the last 25 years.
What are some of the things that really worked for us that could help the organization go into momentum again? How do we do this? And so these 5 key points are really, really good to help you start creating that platform, that plan, that goal to go into momentum. Because when you're in momentum, it's fun. The culture is excited. People do more for a team than they'll actually do for themselves. And you'll notice that when you start to go into momentum, when you start creating some team goals and, of course, personal goals. But when you make it about the team, then you have a lot of fun together. And at the same time, you're all growing together and earning together. And that's really, really important.
I totally agree, Tammy. And when you look at leadership and communication, that's one of the first principles of building culture and creating a growing culture. It's all about leadership and communication. You see, what happens is when you get into momentum, I'll use this side here because you guys are mirror. So when you get into momentum, you have this graph that goes up and goes up and goes up and goes up. But there's another line that's forming where on the bottom here, what's happening is you also have what we call the leadership momentum. So you have the momentum of the business, and then you have the leadership, and then you have the leadership here at the bottom. And what's happening is that eventually momentum slows down and then it starts curving down. Okay. And what's going to happen? It's going to be curving down as high as your leadership. So if your leadership, for example, is here, okay. So you look at the line that's been drafted over here. Let's say your leadership is here. What's going to happen is as the momentum goes down, it will stop where the leadership is. And that's where your income will be stabilized at. So leadership is absolutely critical. So as you build your business, which is very, very important, is you want to seek the leaders within your organization. So let's move on to the second point, where it's the building, team building and bonding. And what's really important in there is to always form that sense of unity. This is the biggest glue to the team culture. It's create unity. And be mindful of chit chats that could occur that is negative comments on someone's this or someone's that, you know what I mean? The gossip, right? These are things that you want to avoid like a plague. So you always want to have this environment of unity, collaboration. Again, people support what they create. So from there, this is the point that's very important. Number 3 is setting goals and creating some accountability or a system in place to be able to maintain a motivation. Because as human beings, we easily get demotivated, right? We get out of breath. At one point, we're tired and we want to wind down. And when we wind down, you don't want to wind down for 6 months, because whatever you worked on is going to go back down to what it was before you started. So it's okay to take breaks, but you can't take breaks too long, especially if you're at the beginning stage of building something. You want to maintain that. So this is kind of the goal setting and motivation. And I know that we've kind of touched on that without even bringing the subject, because it's common sense. So let's move on to the 4th one, which is training and development. You constantly want to focus on skills and shaping up your skills. Again, this is all part of team culture. You know, we talked about the leadership, we talked about the communication, we talked about team building and bonding and goal setting and motivation, right? All of this combined creates a compound effect that will create the culture within an organization. And then you start adding the trainings and the content. And that's why Tammy and I, we spend a lot of resources to rub shoulders with the inner core network marketers so we can get the best of what's current right now based on the times so we can bring this to you.
I think action skill is a big one, because if you're learning something and you're not applying it to get the results, the end result, then you're just learning. So it's those actions every single day is going to determine where you're going in the business. That's exactly what it is.
So the last point I want to cover here on the fifth strategy that we want to talk about, common sense. But after that, people die for it. Baby cries for it. Recognition. People want to be recognized. As much as people say, oh, no, don't put me there, don't put me there. Deep down, it's a human trait. People want to be noticed. Everybody wants to know that they matter. So that's why recognition is such an important part. And if you avoid the recognition, then you're basically taking away is the foundational element to build a culture within your organization.